Jill. So it's the Dishcloth Edition, and I'm just calling it that because we were chatting about what should we talk about on tonight's podcast, tonight's knit night. And you'll be pleased to know that I'm actually knitting a dishcloth at this moment.
I can't believe it. Look at you.
You can never go wrong with a dishcloth.
Never.
It's a little corner to corner thing, but and this is, I do like DPNs for this. We're talking about double points and how I hardly ever use them. But look, double points. Because it's fast and lightweight. You're like tilty. You're both tilty. You're like,
Oh.
Yeah, see?
I guess I don't understand what the difference between that and using just a straight needle is.
Oh, well, I started with just metal number 6s that, like, I have a collection of them because they were my grandmother's. And I started with those. But they're unwieldy and they're long and they're heavy. And I feel like they're not as fast. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I would get used to them after like an hour. I'm sure I would. But and
I don't like super long.
I don't.
I learned super long.
And I thought, I have 6s.
Yeah.
Wait, you knit them on 6s? What do you knit yours on, Linz?
7s.
Huh.
8s.
Probably doesn't matter a lot.
My favorite.
It probably doesn't matter a lot. It's just a corner to corner. I mean, I can make it as wide as I want and then go back.
I find it interesting what different people like.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it would be, yours probably would make obviously a more airy, lighter, faster drying dishcloth. Mm-hmm. So if you hung yours up on your kitchen faucet, yours would dry more quickly than mine, I would think. Mm-hmm. But maybe the next one I'll do on 8s and see.
Yeah. You'll be like, this is giant and unwieldy. There was a pattern that I loved. She had it, and eventually I'll rewrite it for something smaller, but it was a 12 by 12.
Dishcloth?
Yes.
Like a foot? That's like the size of these blocks. These block of the months.
Yeah, I couldn't bring it was a beautiful pattern. I just couldn't bring myself to commit to a 12 by 12 dishcloth. I'd be like,
can you just resize it? Is it just a repeating chart?
Yes. Yeah. I could. Someday I will. Actually, I'm looking forward. I learned on dishcloths, and that's how I would assume that a lot of people learn how to knit with dishcloths. And I tried like new stitches, and I've just done the same basic one now. And when we were prepping for the episode or just digging through stuff that we had, it would be again and try some of those ones that I wanted to try but didn't feel like I was accomplished enough to try.
Yes, because now you know you can.
Now I can.
And doesn't that feel kind of empowering though?
It really is. It was funny. I was searching for a pattern last night of a dishcloth that I had, and I found the patterns that I'd collected of things that I loved, but I wouldn't ever attempt. And I'm like, oh, knit through the back loop. I can do that.
You can do that.
All sorts of things. It was fun. It was fun.
Show us the shawl.
This is my shawl, which was given to me as a gift. It was not gifted.
Thank you.
I could see you starting to say it.
I know, but I love that you didn't. I love that you didn't. Thank you.
I tried very hard to say that it was given to me as a gift.
That's lovely. And so you know what it looks like? Let me guess. Color my affliction.
Color affection.
You were close.
Color affection is a little bit different than color my affliction, but maybe it says something about me that, you know.
or me. Hey, but I knew what the pattern was, and that by Veera, Välimäki, or can't say her name either.
Yes.
I admitted that. Yes.
Yes.
Color
my affliction. So, black is your soul today. I don't know. Oh,
that's great.
What color would anxiety be?
What color would anxiety be?
Hot, something like a neon.
What color would anxiety be?
Oh, see, I think it'd be green.
Green?
I think green is kind of soothing.
Really?
That's interesting. What color would anxiety be?
Green.
Orange.
Something neon.
Yeah, like a neon green is what I was thinking.
How about puce? That's scary to say even. Or chartreuse.
Yes. So this was a gift from my knitter friend who taught me how to knit before I even
the clog knitter friend?
Yes.
Yay!
Gave me a shawl.
Wow.
I know. To think
that's knitter love right there.
I was gonna say, to think that I was knit worthy before I could knit, and the generosity. I find that knitters are just such generous people, and just it's a happy thing. She thought I would get cold at work, and these were the colors that I always wore, and so that's why. So she made it so it would match a lot of the things that I wore.
I've never seen you in that blue color.
It was gifted a little bit ago.
Do you know what?
It was given to me a little bit ago. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Chew.
That was such a dainty sneeze.
Because on a podcast,
I mean, I sound like a Canadian goose when I sneeze. I mean, that was totally...
Maybe not on camera, though.
No, I would.
I would too. You're so polite. I think that's fantastic.
I would say something else, but I couldn't decide if I was going to sneeze or not. Yes, I like it very much. Nope.
All right, back to the dishcloths. So I'm knitting a dishcloth. You have knit mini. So did you just start out back and forth in a square, or did you start out with like
corner to corner, didn't you?
I started out back and forth in a square, and it took me a while to learn. Lindsay would see me knitting them. Lindsay decided to knit one. She knit one grandmother's, and then she started off on these crazy patterns. And I know.
One grandmother's. What do you mean?
Grandmother's favorite. That's like what you're doing. Corner to corner.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that one doesn't have tails.
Oh, see? Yep. Except for that, I am closing the yarn over holes.
How are you closing them?
I knit through the back loop when I get to it.
Okay, yeah.
Because I don't like it. I don't like holes.
I do that.
I'm the boss.
I like the holes.
Yeah, that's fine. It's a nice border.
But I also like that thing that you've done recently with yours, Linz.
I don't have any of those to show, so. Sorry. You told me to bring the ones that were fancier. And so I found the fancier ones just for you.
You didn't
the ones that I learned to knit cables on.
You didn't bring any plain ones along?
No.
I brought the
cabinet right here. But
okay.
I mean, I still have 20 though.
Like, I keep a stash? Washcloths? Well, because I love to knit washcloths, especially when I didn't know how to do cowls or hats or socks. So I would do my piles and just keep them as my gift stash because they make really nice housewarming gifts or if you have to go somewhere. And then
the door stayed open. Sorry.
Right. That's cute. Okay. How come those look kind of fuzzy? What kind of yarn is that?
Because so you've got your dishcloth.
Right.
And then you've got your scrubby.
Oh, and what kind of yarn is that made of?
So this, I hold double. I hold my cotton, and then I hold, this one is from Hobby Lobby Yarn Bee, Scrubology.
It has some kind of a rayon, nylon, plasticky, funky feel?
Yeah, let me see. 100% polyester. So I just hold one strand of cotton and one strand of that, and they make really nice scrubbies.
And it's not hard on your hands to knit that?
No, not at all.
Nope.
Okay.
Huh. No. And then you can make them as a set. You give them, you'd like to do something like that, and then give them a couple of these and wrap it up with a pretty ribbon, and it's a gift. Lindsay did something neat with these for her mom. Do you remember your mom asked for makeup wipes?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, she made
it was those and cotton, and I did smaller.
Did you do them in circles?
I think I might have done them in a round.
And they would make great makeup removers because they're just abrasive enough.
Now, you showed us your basic kind of, what'd you call them, the grandma corner to corner ones like I'm doing. I just didn't know it was called that.
Grandma's favorite.
And so then what did you you said in the last podcast, and you kind of talked about that just now, that was kind of how you learned various stitches and you had ones that you liked and didn't try, and now you go back and look and you're thinking, well, I could do that.
Oh yeah, and that was just, yes, getting ready for today. So maybe fancy new dishcloths are in my future.
But after socks.
After socks, I'll talk about my socks tonight.
And the cowl.
Yes.
If you decide you want to do that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have it already?
It came in the mail today.
Mine won't be here till Wednesday.
Okay, that's next on the list after the dishcloth, because then I'll forget. Or, well, we could go round and round, I guess.
We can go back to it.
Show us.
Back to the, oh, no. I was going to, see, I'm, the monogamous knitter wants to, like, finish the dishcloth stuff.
Okay.
And I was just saying, I have to show before Lindsay because hers are really fancy. So you'd be vastly underwhelmed if she went first and then you saw my stuff. So you also have to, good grief. I was going to, no, this one doesn't have like a knot. Like these are like very, very beginner. So that was, and when you look at them now and you can see all of the mistakes you made or whatever, that one was.
Oh, that's cool.
Christmas lace.
Yes.
So I was learning yarn overs.
Great.
Yep.
I remember that one.
I was so proud. I was so
You
excited.
should be.
Because I had tried a couple before that failed. I did the one called Chinese Waves, and it started out like this long, and then it grew.
It became a funnel shape. Yeah.
It did. And which ended up as some sort of doll accoutrement, which so many of the washcloths that went awry did. They're great doll blankets that my daughter stole then.
Sure. And they could honestly still be functional dishcloths. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We use them, and I don't know about you guys, I use them till there's holes in them until they literally start to unravel.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's why I only have like 2 left. So I got to keep going.
Yeah. And that's just like a modified basket weave.
Yep.
Oh, I love that one too.
That was when I was trying to learn how to read my knitting.
Yes.
It was my first thing that really had any sort of pattern to it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Where you needed to figure out where you were by just looking, right? Sure.
Yep. And then I think I did this one when I was learning how to purl. That's just called and you can see, oh my gosh, it's like letting somebody see inside your dirty house.
No.
Because look at all those mistakes down there.
Yeah, but you know what? Now you get to go back and see that you can identify what went wrong. Too.
I'm telling you.
So, but you can see how far you've come. It's just like when I was hiking last weekend and I kept like stopping at the top of a ridge and I would turn around and my hiking partner, my friend, she kept wondering, well, of course I'm stopping because I'm huffing and puffing and I'm like a turtle, right? Slow and steady and all that. But I would turn around and look because I wanted to see how far we'd come. And this is the same kind of thing. Look what you've accomplished. Now you're able to see those mistakes and understand, but it's still a perfectly functional item to use.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I do have a question for you dishcloth people, however.
I love them.
So I have this dark navy because it's just what I found. And somewhere along the way, I ended up with an entire cone of it. Do you notice that it like leaks color into the water? I mean, do you have to set the color with vinegar or like some of it takes a while and some of the blue comes off in the water. Have you never noticed that?
No.
You wash it with towels.
Right, but I mean like when I'm washing dishes.
Mm-mm.
Oh, no?
Okay.
But I've not ever knit navy.
Yeah. And then like the cream colored ones, they always end up looking gray after.
I've only knit with anxiety. All mine are green. That's all I kept thinking of.
Is that you knit your anxiety?
It was that mine are green, so they wouldn't come off, and all I kept thinking was all I've knit is anxiety.
That's funny.
But look how far you've come though.
I love knitting dishcloths.
I'm doing it because I need them. I'd rather knit socks. Or
now I found the hat. So.
But now you're doing hats. Yes, it's all about the hats now. For a while.
Wait, what was the hat?
What?
Oh, you're not going to show us yet because we're not to that part.
We're not to that part.
We're not at show and tell yet.
Okay. Well, kind of we are because you showed your.
So, do you want me to show my dishcloths? Are you done?
Yes, I love her dishcloths. They're so pretty.
Okay. So, this is the really ambitious one that I learned to knit cables on. It is called the Celtic Cables Dishcloth, and it's just a Yarnspirations pattern.
Right.
Isn't that pretty?
Yes, that's fantastic. That's the same Celtic knot pattern that's on the bottom border of that Celtic Myths shawl. It's the same knot.
Okay.
Yes, fantastic.
So yeah, that was this one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever used it.
Really?
But
oh my gosh, I just sit and look at it. It's so pretty.
Pretty. It's too pretty to use.
Agreed.
Okay.
It could be like a trivet, you know, the hot pad you put on the table when you put your casserole dish. You could use it like that.
I forgot about that one.
That's awesome.
This one is knotted cables. It was a Knit Picks free pattern.
I'll put the links all down below. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And those look pretty good sized.
That one's pretty big. This one is the one that I can't find the pattern to, so I'm sorry, but I just think it's really pretty still.
Oh, it's called Leaf something.
Okay, right. I know, but I couldn't find it. I searched leaf and cascading leaf. And then this one is called Heart Lace. See, like the heart?
Oh, yep.
Okay, I've never seen that one.
Yeah, you have. I did this one at your house. I have distinct memories of knitting this at your house.
Maybe she wasn't home.
Here I was wearing my color affliction shawl and didn't remember.
So yeah.
That must be it.
You can't really see the heart.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
But you're right. It would be more apparent in a solid.
Yeah. But
You knit that at my house?
yes.
I really don't remember that at all.
That's funny. It was probably a long time ago. It was when I first learned.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are my fancier ones.
Fancy schmancy. And I was trying to think of other things I've made from, this kind of cotton, like the peaches and cream or sugar and whatever it's called.
Sugar and cream.
Sugar and cream.
Or, I don't know, the peaches and cream is probably what came in the cone. I don't know. But anyway, the reason I had an entire cone of the navy is because I used it for placemats. I knitted placemats, a set of 8 for a wedding gift once. Yeah.
Wow.
So
I never thought about using them as placemats. That would be fun.
Well, yeah, washable, sure. Yeah.
Do you just do it like grandmother's favorite washcloth? Just like
No.
Okay.
Because then it would be square. No,
it's trendy now. It could be cool.
I just did a rectangular pattern of my invention.
You realize now I'm going to have to look at that on Ravelry, like knitted placemats.
Sure.
That would be kind of cool for outside.
It would be so cool for outside. That's what I was thinking for the patio.
My mom.
That table that's wood, and then when you put the dishes down on them, it'd be nice.
Placemats.
Oh, the new washcloth. Yay.
That's right. You could do square placemats. You could.
You could. Your other ones are circles.
Uh-huh.
Sure. You're the boss.
You almost have to have square plates, though.
But your thing is square. Your tiles in the table.
You know why a square placemat is cool if it's big enough to accommodate your plate? Because then it sticks up far enough to act as a coaster also. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I always find that with the rectangular placemat, unless it's large enough, then you're like your glass is not on it. So then you got to have another coaster. Unless you have a cheap 70s dining room table like I do that's like whatever Formica kind of crap, and then who cares if you have a coaster, right? I've never had decent furniture. I just realized,
We realized that with the water recently.
That you don't have good furniture?
We had to write stuff down, and we're like, well, that was like how old, and that one's how old, and we got that from so-and-so, and we got that from so-and-so, and
right. But you realize that you just make it work and it's fine. Like I was telling Lindsay this when you guys moved and you bought your furniture. I'm like, I have never, this fall, we will have been married 30 years and I have never bought a new couch. We've never bought a couch.
you know what?
Hand-me-downs, garage sales.
But sometimes you knit with Madeline-tosh.
Oh, yes. I will spend money, lots of money on snobby yarn, and I don't care if I have a garage sale couch. It's true.
Priorities.
Oh, for sure. Yes, absolutely priorities. But, it's okay, because I'd rather have yarn. And good whiskey. That's right. I want expensive yarn and good whiskey. And I want to
then you don't care about the couch.
Right. I don't care. I'll sit on the floor. I don't care. Okay, can we talk about the shawl along? Okay.
Now I want to track my yarn and see where it is.
We'll do that. Okay. Well,
I'm sitting here wondering how smart of so I've never knit a shawl. I've never knit a project that large, nor have I ever done cables, nor have I ever really read a chart. So this should be a trifecta.
It'll be great. I'm so excited for you. It'll be fun because everyone will help you. And it's very, very logical. And you are a logical person, but you're also very intuitive.
So, what I am learning about knitting is that the unknown isn't as scary as you think it's going to be.
Right.
Like learning those new stitches, because so many times I would look at patterns and say, oh, I don't know how to do that. And I'd put it in my favorites, but never in my head did I think I'm going to do that next. So I don't,
right.
Lindsay tackles problems, and she'll dive right in. I'm kind of keep my feet on the edge of the water.
But see, you might do that with knitting, but you don't do that in life. And I know that because you wouldn't have been a school principal otherwise. You are perfectly capable of tackling any problem.
Correct.
And like we've talked about the last time that we had our last podcast.
Yes.
You can always take it out and have a do-over. It's not a tattoo. You can always, and that's what I like so much about knitting. We talk about that as beginners. We talk about the ability to take it out and fix your mistakes and have that confidence to do that, or even to say, you know what, forget this. I'm not feeling it. I don't like it. I'm going to rip it. And then it's like it never happened and it's cathartic and Shazam, it's gone. Poof. Right? You get to be like, I dream of Jeannie and done. Right? So that's really nice also to be able to just start over and reclaim that yarn and use it for something else that you do enjoy. Right. So never fear. I'm excited for you. It's going to be your first, larger project, your first not hat, dishcloth, sock. It's going to be a larger project that you're actually going to you're making yourself a hug. Think about it.
A hug.
That's great.
So can we see the yarn?
Yes. Let's get back to that. I want to see the yarn. And there's a moth that keeps flying.
It came today. It came today. It came today.
Mine never comes on Friday.
Tell us what it is.
Well, so I looked through all the pictures and figured out what I liked. And every time I found a shawl I liked, it was the same kind of yarn.
And let's tell the viewers, I don't think we mentioned it. What we're talking about is our next knit along that by the time this airs, it will be in progress. It's called the Cozy Winter Shawl by Melanie Mielinger. And this is what Jill's knitting hers from.
So I finally decided to commit to buying nice yarn.
Yes.
And then I couldn't find the color. So I'm going to knit it in Malabrigo. And
oh.
It's so pretty.
It's lovely. Tell us the name of the colorway.
Gris, Gris.
Gris. Yeah, Gris. Yeah, Spanish for gray.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's pretty. It's tonal. I will wear it all of the time. It is so squishy.
It'll go with everything.
It really will. Yes. I am very, very excited. Pardon?
How many skeins did you buy?
Well, So I bought 6.
Yay!
But there's two reasons for that. I think I could do it in 3. But the other, I'm not sure if I'm going to knit, well, me who hasn't ever done a shawl or cables or read a pattern, all of a sudden thinks it might be a good idea to modify it. I will try to find the picture. There is one that someone has done that instead of having it in a triangular shawl, it's more of a wrap. It's a long rectangular wrap. If I should decide,
I'll put the link to her project down below because you shared that with me. I'll put that down below so viewers can take that option if they like as well.
And she does not leave a pattern for that. That one calls for 990 yards. So that came in the mail today, and I was thinking if I went ahead and knit the triangular one, then I would still have 3 skeins left, which is a very, and I love color, so it'd be a decent amount to do something else with. I don't think I will ever be sad having this in my stash.
You will not.
Yeah.
And I bought 6 also for the same reason.
So, well, and if you have the extra skein, then you will not run out of, you will not have to play yarn chicken.
Right. Well, and the reason that I bought 3 extra was because I'm knitting this for a fundraiser auction. And so it's not for me. And I thought I may in fact want to knit this pattern again for a gift or for myself. Are you joining us with that, Lindsay?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Because was it you that found the pattern originally?
Well, no, you found it.
But you were like, oh, I love that.
I know. I just told you that that's the one that you had to do.
And I agreed.
Listen.
Oh.
And what's the color name of that?
Plum or Plomo.
Okay, is that also Malabrigo Rios or not?
Yeah. No, it is.
So we're all 3 knitting out of Malabrigo Rios.
Yeah, and it's such a pretty color. That looks a little bit purplier than it is.
It looks kind of gray from here, but
yeah.
But you'll show us
it's
when
like a grayish
it comes.
purple. I mean, I haven't seen it in real life. I've only seen it on the website, but it's very pretty.
And tell us again what it's called, the name of the color?
Plum.
Nice. That will be lovely.
The other yarn that I really like that people did, they did a Madelinetosh chunky. And I did really like it. I liked that when it was bunched up here, like with the jean jacket or something. So that was the other one that I liked. But I think this one, the way I'll wear it more, I really like the drape of it, of the worsted-ish.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Madelinetosh makes a fantastic worsted. Obviously, that's what I'm knitting the Afghan from. And it's scrumptious to knit with. But I've never knit with Malabrigo before, and I wanted to try. I have. I've knitted with their sock yarn. I've never knitted with their worsted. And when I did the podcast with Sarah Shira, the gal who does the gnome patterns, she mentioned, when we were talking about the Afghan and stuff, she mentioned the Malabrigo Rios, that she really liked that for a worsted weight. And I thought, well, I'd like to try that. And so I chose, did I tell you this already?
It's pretty.
Oh,
It's tan-ish. It's called Sandbank.
Pretty.
Tonal sand. And again, I it's for this auction and I wanted something neutral. Lots of new skills to learn. And it truly, though, I am not usually a fan of triangular shawls. However, this is an asymmetrical triangle, which I kind of like I kind of like that offset point. Yeah. So for me, that made a difference in whether I would like the triangular shape or not, is that it's offset.
It'll still wrap pretty well, I would think.
Well, you can wear it centered if you want to have that triangular in the front, but if you were going to wrap it around you,
could still have it like offset.
Have it more on the side. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can wear it any way you want. I mean, you're the boss of that too. All right, what's our next topic?
I can show my blocks. Okay, or Jill can go.
No, please do.
I have
3 blocks.
I have 3 blocks done. Remember how last time I had 1.5?
Yes.
So here's block 1.
Wait, and you blocked that now too, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty.
It looks like.
Block
Nice.
1.
It's pretty.
Finished block 2.
Yes. Well done.
Finished block 3.
Oh my gosh.
And blocked it.
And blocked it. And started block 4.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
Wait,
now show us all of them plus your block 4. Like, I want to see all the colors together.
I was just gonna ask what color you chose for block 4.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so that's these 3.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's pretty.
Nice. There, yes.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Me too.
Cool.
How is block 4 so far?
Well, so far, I've done the setup rows.
So pretty manageable?
Pretty manageable. Garter stitch, knit 1, purl 1, garter stitch.
Because she's already done that 3 times before.
Yeah. I hated doing block 2, but I really, really love it.
I know. I found it to be terribly tedious, but I love how it looks.
And block 3 was so easy. I did that in like 2 days.
It was a nice reprieve from block 2, wasn't it?
It's your gift. That's why she made it block 2.
And then I have a couple other finished things. I finished my pair of socks.
Yay!
I guess that's the only finished thing. A couple. 2 socks.
The only. Man.
And then I cast on.
Oh, I love that even more. Now
Yeah, because you showed us the yarn from that last time. Right?
Yep.
And, well, refresh everybody's memory what yarn that is, just so it was circus something. Direful.
Direful, and it's Curiosity Voyage.
Okay, not circus. I don't know where I got that.
It's okay.
And are you doing a new heel on this one? No.
I think I might go back to my old standard Eye of Partridge.
Oh, I did an Eye of Partridge. Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just jump in real quick. So remember my...
Yeah.
And then, see?
Yeah, I love it. That's my favorite heel.
Well, it's the heel flap and gusset still, but just the reinforcement of the Eye of Partridge.
I know, and I just think it looks pretty.
Yeah. And then I continued it down here on the bottom of the heel.
Oh.
Because that's where you stand.
Yeah.
I have never, ever worn a hole in the back. I always wear a hole in the bottom.
I've wondered about that.
So
I would wear a hole in the bottom.
Yeah, so when you turn the heel, just continue that on the bottom. And you could continue doing that until you're finished with the decreases, until you're finished with the gusset.
Oh, okay.
I want to see the hat. Let's see the hat.
This is, hold on, let me do this because I just placed a marker.
Because
So
this is the Tchaikovsky hat now.
This is a Tchaikovsky hat, and I love how it's turning out. It's a wee bit bigger than I anticipated. If somebody had to give birth to a baby whose head was this large, they would not be happy.
It is large.
But I absolutely love it.
So it's textures, knit, and pearls.
And I learned a new skill. I had never knit through the back loop before, which that stuff, it all sounds so scary. And I realize that most of the folks that are watching have been knitting for years and that, but if you...
No, maybe not. Don't assume that. Maybe not.
So I thought that was going to be really hard to learn, and it was not. And it makes a beautiful ribbing. It's so pretty.
Right. And then, so then the rest of it is knits and pearls in a sequence?
Yep. And it's going to be really pretty. And I'm going to have a gigantic white foofy pom-pom on the top.
So it needs to be a bigger hat for a bigger child to be able to hold up the pom-pom.
Yeah, they don't hold their heads up.
No, but here's my question. This is supposedly an infant size?
It says baby.
So do we need to talk about gauge?
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Maybe that's why it's big. Are you getting the stitches per inch that the pattern recommends?
Maybe I'll have to look and see what they do recommend.
Are you using the same yarn and needle size that she recommends?
Yes.
Okay.
I am using the same yarn and the same needle size, which means, of course, it's going to be bigger because I'm such a loose knit. Because I always take too much. So,
right, yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like the yarn and needle size that the designer recommends is just a place to start. The gauge is what's important.
So I'm not going to search through my pictures now, but the next time we talk, I'm going to share with you the first hat I ever did for my daughter where I did not know anything about gauge. It's awesome.
Well, I think on one of my videos way back when I talked first about gauge and the importance of swatching, I had knit this hat and it had some color work in it. It had like it was an ear flap hat, like an, Peruvian ear flap hat, like a chulu, and it had a wave pattern and it was a color work thing, but I didn't like give 2 cents about gauge or whatever, and I just went for it. And I sent it to my nephew. Well, my nephew's a big dude, he's well over 6 feet, and he's not he's very trim and he's a fitness guy, but he has a large hat size. But even so, the brim of that hat went down to his nose. He put it on and like the ear flaps were down to here, kind of like goofy, and the brim was here, and the thing was gigantic. And it was hilarious, and it was massive. So, yes, gauge is important. How many stitches per inch? Regardless of you have to find the combination. I always say this to everybody. You have to find the correct combination of yarn and needles that gives you the stitches per inch called for by the pattern.
Yes, and different.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I interrupted. I watched your video, and different yarn makes a difference.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. Because worsted is not always...
Worsted, yeah.
Right, it's not always uniform. Right. So there's, just like with fingering yarn with socks, there's light fingering, there's 4-ply fingering, there's 3-ply fingering, there's 6-ply fingering, and there's even 8-ply fingering, which is really a DK. But depends on the manufacturer and how many, it just depends how many wraps per inch that ends up being. So I will also say that for this shawl knit along, because it's a shawl, you want it to be big enough to wrap around you and to fit comfortably, but gauge, it's not super crucial. I would try to get gauge, but if your shawl ends up being bigger because you knit looser, then you're like, yay, I have a bigger garment, and you want to be cozy, and that's fine. That's fine. Better that than the other way and having it be too small, and then you're unhappy because it's too small. Right.
Are you gonna swatch?
Am I? Yeah. Sure. I'll watch.
Lindsay's face.
Yes, I will swatch because I want it to be a healthy size. I don't want it, and I'm knitting it for this auction.
True.
Well, I would swatch even if it was for me because I'm not a small person. I
just hate swatching.
Why? It's a Netflix. What? And the thing is it's the foundation that makes your garment what you need it to be.
I know. So do you rip your swatch out?
Yeah.
And then it's all blue.
So if that bothers you, then steam it.
Oh.
Wind it back up and steam it if that bothers you. It doesn't bother me because then once I've knitted back through the kinky, wrinkly part, I'm like, it never happened. It's fine. And I used to hate swatching too until I finally got the mindset where this is part of the process of making this garment. It has to be part of the process. It's like
quilting is half ironing.
It's like brushing your teeth. You need to do it.
So 2 questions. How large do you typically make your swatch? And do I need to make my swatch before we start the knit along?
That's up to you. The episodes will be on the YouTube channel indefinitely. So if you want to cast on right when I do, then yeah, you should go. You already have your yarn, so why not? Now, let me tell you the purpose. If you don't want to rip out your swatch and you want to save that as an example of in a notebook, a lot of people keep a knitting journal. So maybe you want to save that to where this is the number of stitches per inch that I got with size 10 needles and Malabrigo Rios. But I'll tell you that as you evolve as a knitter, that will change over time.
Right.
Like I don't knit the same way that I did 15 years ago. So I go ahead and take it out and I use that knowledge to cast on and change needle sizes if necessary. But that hour of time or however long it is served its purpose, right? It served its purpose. It gives me the information that I need to know. Your swatch should be like, there's going to be a big section of this shawl that is that texture pattern.
Yeah.
So maybe it's garter stitch or whatever. So you should swatch in garter stitch if that's a representative of a section of that garment.
Oh, I don't mind swatching a garter stitch.
It should look as if you just plucked it right out of the garment. You know, like if you had a hole punch and you took it right out. That's what you want. Okay, so we're going to be casting on. What else are you knitting for summer? I knit socks a lot in the summer because, well, last summer I knitted the whole harvest cardigan that, you know, we did the tutorial series for. But I sat in front of the air conditioner the whole time. But I knit a lot of socks in the summer. Dishcloths would be good to knit in the summer. Placemats, all good summery kinds of things. And I was showing Lindsay that I got my interweave knits in today's mail.
Aww.
And it says lace tops and summer color. So yeah, patterns in here for summer. So it just came today, so I haven't had a chance to really look through it. However, I'm pretty excited. Do you remember, was it in the 80s, 70s, 80s? The Baja hoodies? Remember the Baja hoodies that were cotton? Look! I totally want to make that.
Oh my gosh. How did they? Wow. So
Yeah,
it's made of cotton?
Let me see what they say. Yeah, it says a hand-knitted version of the classic surfer sweater of the 70s.
Ah.
Let's see, looks great on men and women, blah, blah. Yes, Brown Sheep Company cotton fleece. So this month, so it just came. I have never gotten a subscription to Interweave Knits. This is my first issue. I'm pretty excited about it because, you know, there's patterns in here that you can't just download from Ravelry because they're only available in the magazine. Not that I need more magazines, but there's some cool sock patterns in here too, and shirts. Yes, love it.
I have to tell a story. My daughter, I have a younger daughter, and she has an iPod Touch, so she can't text anybody. It's not a phone. She can text if she's at home because we have wireless. So she'll text grandma and grandpa and the babysitter that she used to go to during the day that when she was little, text her that she was getting a puppy, and she asked my daughter for suggested names for the puppy. So I'm reading her text, and she's like, well, how about Evan? How about Margot? How about Malabrigo?
That's fantastic.
I love it.
And she spelled it right, and just when you think they're not paying attention. So apparently I really loved my yarn and just didn't realize it.
So I was looking at the puppy Malabrigo.
Puppy named Malabrigo.
That's
That's
great.
so funny. Oh, I love this sock. It's fun yarn.
So
that is really pretty.
Are you going to use the contrasting heel or knit it all out of that?
No, I'm just going to knit it all like this.
Yeah. Well, I wondered if you were going to use some of that cranberry color for the heels of that.
No, I decided not to.
I think it's cool the way it is.
No, I was going to show you. I got more done on my sock.
Cool.
Stopping point on my sock. Not a stopping point. So.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm ready for my heel.
Okay. Good. When do you want to do it?
I was watching videos last night to try to figure out how to do it on 9-inch circs. To do a heel flap.
Do you have more than one 9-inch circ?
No, I did go ahead and buy double points. The video I watched yesterday had you do your stitches, place a marker, and just keep turning your work and going back and forth and back and forth.
Here's one thing you could do if you wanted to is for the heel flap, you're going to divide your yarn front and back, and your heel flap is going to be knitted on half the number of stitches, right?
Right.
So how many have you cast on there? 72?
64.
Okay. So you have 32 on the front, 32 on the back. So what you could do is just, do you have a stitch holder, like a giant safety pin looking thing?
I think I do.
Or even you could just transfer it onto waste yarn. Use it, use a darning needle with some waste yarn and slip those 32 front stitches that you're going to let wait because they're the instep, they're the front or the top of the foot stitches. You're going to let those rest. and then you're going to use your 9-inch circular, use it like you would a DPN, and you're just going to go back and forth on that for the heel flap. But then I'm like, is your 9-inch circular going to be long enough to accommodate all of the stitches when you go? It is when you go pick up all the side gussets. It's you can jam all that on there.
Yep.
Okay, because I've never done that.
How do you do yours, Lindsay?
I've either done them on 2 double points and knit back and forth, or I've done it where I just place a marker and knit back and forth and keep all of them on the 9-inch.
Okay.
And your 9-inch accommodates all that?
Yeah.
Is it kind of tight to mash it all on there or not? It's manageable?
No, it's manageable because, like, right now, I mean, there's plenty of space, you know, with my 64. So, like, I mean, I think there's plenty of space.
Right. And see, I usually cast on a lot more.
Right.
That. So, and I don't care for the T-Rex needles, so I've never done that. Yeah, I mean, I'm magic looping, and I've got 80.
Yeah.
But I have a lot more stitches per inch and smaller needles than you do because I like the denser fabric, you know.
Right. Well, I will say I am doing these on a smaller size needle, and I just like the way the stitches look better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really like the density of the fabric. I started these 3 times, and one actually was on a video. It may have been a patron knit night, and I talked about it, and we looked, and there weren't holes, but you could see kind of through it.
Yeah. The
so
fabric was more kind of airy. Uh-huh.
Yes. And I like this one much, much better. It's a much more dense fabric. It'll make a very cozy sock.
Right. And if you knit with smaller size needles and you have more stitches per inch, your socks will not wear out as quickly.
My goodness, it's hard to see what size needle this is on the needle.
Right. There are a lot. Your stitches your socks will be more durable with denser fabric and more stitches per inch. So mine are typically 8 to 9 stitches per inch.
And I think that's where I was at with this last pair that I tried. This is the 3rd needle size that I tried. So this one might be the winner.
Well, it just takes some time to work that out, and now you'll know. It's your first, your first pair of socks.
Mine's 9 stitches per inch. I just counted.
Awesome. Yeah, cool.
And this is on I think it's a 1, but my goodness, I just can't read it. Yeah, 2.25.
All right, what else were we going to talk about?
Oh, I wanted to say that it was, have you ever heard of Knox Mountain Company? Have you ever seen any of their patterns? They have some beautiful shawls that I've loved.
Oh.
And I had seen one, and it looked like they make shawl cuffs. And actually, Grocery Girls, it was funny, their latest episode, she was wearing one of their shawl cuffs. And I went, I know that. Remember that, Linz, those leather ones that we really liked?
Yeah.
They look like they could be a bracelet or they could be a shawl cuff. They're gorgeous. So what it is, it's a leather strap, and then it has like a snap on it, and then they would go right around here.
Oh.
So instead of a shawl pin, it's more of a shawl cuff. They are beautiful. It was so neat.
And it's called Knox Mountain.
Knox Mountain Company, KNOX.
Right.
Look them up on Instagram.
Yeah.
I love watching their Instagram feed.
Oh, yeah. I'll totally check it out.
Yeah.
Thanks for the suggestion. I always like stuff like that. New people to follow on Instagram and all that. Oh, right.
Oh, those are pretty.
Knox Mountain Knit Company. Ooh, I'm totally going to go check that out.
Now I'll find one where they have a shawl wrapped. It's just so pretty. That one is cute, but there are just some beautiful ones.
Mm.
And that's really a good suggestion.
I love that.
Because I never know how to
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I never know what to do. Speaking of what to do.
That one is really cute.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Speaking of what to do, now I have to go back the other way.
Yeah.
I forget how I'm supposed to do that.
You just decrease.
No, I know, but I got to knit across and you get to the last however many and I got to look. Why do you look like that?
I'm just confused as to what you're saying.
Because you just knit till you have 4 stitches left.
Right.
Or 5 stitches
No,
left.
I know, but like you knit across and then you do a knit 2 together at some point on the one end, then you
But
turn.
you do it on the front, on the like, isn't it, Jill, isn't it knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit across?
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Okay, say that again.
There's no
Knit
right
1,
side or wrong side.
Right. Knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit across. But you're not yarning over.
Well, I mean, I am yarning over. I'm just closing yarn overs. Now, this pattern says knit 1, knit 2 together. Oh, that's what you just said. Okay, I'm looking at it. It says knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together,
Knit across.
knit to the end of the row. So you have 2 decreases and I see. So you're decreasing 2 stitches, but really only 1 because you're adding the yarn over in the middle.
Yes.
I wonder if I can remember that long enough to actually do it. Okay.
Knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit to the end.
Okay, you can tell me.
Ooh,
And repeat.
And
knit 1, knit 2 together.
Knit
Yeah,
one.
it's a little chant.
Okay, knit 2 together.
Yarn over.
Yo.
You know,
Knit 2
together.
together. Okay, good.
the poor people that are trying to like do some sort of complicated pattern while they're watching this podcast, we're going knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over.
I know, they're all, shut up. We might just edit that part out. Or not.
It was funny.
It is
It was
funny.
funny.
Now I'm at the part where I knit to the end of the row, so I can keep talking. So, yeah, I'll have a dishcloth by the time I go to bed, maybe.
Yay.
I love a good dishcloth.
I might be a convert. I guess. Oh, I knit to the end of the row. Okay. Well, no. I got to the end, and I'm like, wait, am I supposed to do something at the other end?
Well, you're supposed to knit through the back loop of that one that you're wanting to close.
Right, but I'll do that when I go back. Because I yarned over at the beginning of the row I just finished.
Didn't you yarn over at the beginning of the row that you had done right before that?
No, because I knitted a plain one in between.
Oh.
Before I did the switch over to decreasing, I decided I would knit a plain one.
Oh.
Then I would ask you about it and go look. Okay, knit 1, knit 2 together.
Yarn over. Knit
Yo.
2.
Knit 2 together.
Can I talk about the irony in this?
Yes.
Where Jill, who's never knit a shawl or cables or anything like that.
Yeah. It's not ironic. I never said I knew everything there was to know about everything.
I know.
I can learn.
We can all, it's all mindset.
Well,
Okay,
sure.
so we haven't talked about books that we're reading, and you talked about that because I know you always link books. There's a really good one for folks that have, well, even folks that don't have children, if you're trying to learn something new. There's a researcher, her name is Carol Dweck, D-W-E-C-K. She has a book called The Growth Mindset. I would bet there's probably a TED Talk out there about it too, that people either have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset, and it really determines the path that you can take on whether or not you believe you can learn, or if you believe that people have this set of skills and that's all they'll ever be able to do. And even in the language that you choose to use every day, it subconsciously affects what your confidence in what you can do.
Right.
Because your mind, like when you take in things within 2 seconds, within like 0.2 tenths of a second, your mind determines if yes, that's real and rational, or no, that's not. And the language that you use when you talk helps that with that mindset as well.
Yeah, I totally believe that, because you can manifest your own destiny. It's just like you believing that you can do any of these patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Of course you can.
Yep. So that's a good book.
Go back for a second and tell me the title of the book by Carol Dweck.
It's called Growth Mindset.
Okay. That's interesting. So are you reading anything currently or watching any good Netflix, Lindsay? No?
No.
Well, podcasts. You like podcasts,
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
right? While you're driving and stuff.
Mhm.
What's your favorite right now?
Podcast?
Mhm.
I've been listening to a lot of the Parrot Head podcast because
The
I love
what?
Jimmy Buffett. The Parrot Head podcast.
Is this true crime stuff?
Not Parrot Heads, that's Jimmy Buffett.
No, I don't know what Parrot Head is. I don't know what that is.
You know, like
Fins.
Jimmy Buffett, the singer. You don't know Jimmy Buffett?
No, I know Jimmy Buffett. I don't know the podcast you're talking about.
Oh, okay. So his fans are called Parrot Heads.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay. And there's a podcast called the Parrot Head Podcast, and it's these two like 27-year-old guys who are obsessed with Jimmy Buffett, and they just talk about all things Jimmy Buffett, and it's just really funny.
Okay.
I went too far. This is this is irony. Remember when I was teasing about the washcloth?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, when I was teasing about the washcloth, I went too far. And now I have to take back these weird decreases.
Because you were making fun of me not being able to remember.
Dropped a stitch, and I just dropped a stitch because it is a fully dropped stitch, and I have to watch the video and figure out how to do that again. So,
Oh, it's going back the other way.
see, that's what I get.
I know. I'm kind of excited about it.
I thought I was funny.
You were. You are. All right. Thanks for joining us for the. What do you want me to do? Okay, you're being responsible for the wrap up.
Sorry.
I missed it. I was looking for.
Sorry. Let's try that again.
Go ahead.
But I know it's coming.
No, I want you to do the wrap up.
I can't.
Well, okay, then don't make fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. It's just funny that we were just talking and you're like, okay, well, we're wrapping things up here.
She just likes my shift wrap up done.
Right. It's just out of nowhere. Okay.
Well, no, I told you it was going to happen.
Okay.
Okay.
I will have. Oh man, I have to turn my heel and start the shawl. Look, cables, heels, hives. I'm going to be knitting all in green, people.
Okay, should I count down?
No, I'm ready.
All right. Okay, thanks for joining us for the Dishcloth edition of the podcast. So next time, when we come back, we will have started on the shawl knit along. Jill may have turned the heel. You will have turned the heel.
I will.
We will all be knitting. Well, I will have also knitted block 5 for the, because that will come out as well, that video. Look forward to that next time. Okay, thanks you guys. Bye.
Bye.